of Jewish people. The difference between a word inhumanity and genocide, say slavery would be word inhumanity. They didn't necessarily want to kill us off, they wanted to work us and put us to use. And so they weren't killing off African Americans, but forcing them to do hard labor, which sadly means that it's not genocide, even though it's still as bad as genocide. And so that's the difference between that. So if you hear me talking about slavery and you're like, oh, why didn't she include that as genocide? It's not technically genocide. It's a cruel act of civilization. It's one of the worst things to happen in U.S. history, but it's not genocide. And so another good example of the difference between a word inhumanity and genocide would be, say, genocide, the Rwandan genocide. Genocide. And word inhumanity, the Orlando shooting at the gay club that just happened. Now, that might be genocide. We don't know yet because people are thinking that it's either an attack on U.S. soil or that the shooter was trying to rid the world of gay people. So it's just conflicting. So we don't truly know at this point.
And so in a real sense, Alana, as we make preparations for our first commercial break here this morning, that this whole idea of world inhumanities, that is man inhumanity to man or woman's inhumanity to woman, that's not only important in terms of dealing with this whole issue of genocide, but I think we recognize that when we talk about genocide, we're talking about an attempt to bring a conclusion to something, and it's very rarely that we can assign the name genocide to many events, but I think that what you've done this morning is to come up with a number that you'd like to deal with in reference to it. And what we're going to do, we're going to take our first commercial break, and I think that basically that's what you want to do this morning. Is that the area that you want to do? And so what we'll do is we'll take our first commercial break, and then we'll come back and we'll deal with world inhumanities and genocide. And I want you to know that I've seen you in terms of pulling all of this information together, and I'm encouraged by knowing that you've got that information available to us. And I think that you always had it available when you got to this particular point. And so what we're going to do, we're going to take our first commercial break, then we'll come back for our 8-minute segment.